Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something super fun. We're breaking down a really candid, almost chaotic live stream from BTS's J-Hope. So, picture the scene, okay? It's roughly 3 p.m. in a sweltering hot London. He's literally just wrapped up his 67th show of the tour, and he sits down to chat with millions of fans. But, as you'll see, this wasn't just your standard, "Hello, how are you?" greeting. No way. This turned into a rapid-fire race against time, packed with daily habits, tour confessions, and some seriously hilarious backstage antics.
Before we jump in, here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We've got 1. The ticking clock begins. 2. Workouts and daily TMI. 3. Tour life and aches. 4. Hobie's World Cup fever. 5. Rapid-fire fan Q&A. And finally, 6. Happy Army Day. Let's get right into it. Now, the absolute best part of this whole thing, the detail that really sets the tone for this entire explainer, is that 22%. Right after turning on the air conditioner to fight off that London heat, J-Hope looks down and realizes his phone battery is sitting at a measly 22%. And instead of just saying, "Hey, let me go grab a charger," he turns the whole stream into this high-stakes challenge. He declares he's going to tell all his stories using just that remaining battery life before signing off. It instantly took this casual chat and turned it into a frantic sprint to share as much as humanly possible. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Workouts and Daily TMI.
So you know how we usually picture global superstars having these incredibly strict, totally perfect morning routines? Well, scratch that. This timeline shows a completely erratic sleep schedule, which is honestly so relatable. He stayed up late getting a treatment and finally went to sleep around 4 a.m. Then, just like so many of us do, he woke up at 7 a.m., stared blankly at his phone for a couple of hours, fell back asleep at 9, and didn't actually wake up for the day until 12:30 p.m. And the kicker? Almost immediately after waking up, he gets a text from Taeyang asking to hit the gym, which dragged him straight into a 1 p.m. cardio session.
So what does he actually do with the gym? Well, his routine on the road is really all about balance. He hits 30 minutes of cardio, but he has a very strict rule. Absolutely no running. Why? Because his knees hurt. I mean, again, how relatable is that? Instead, he cranks the treadmill up to a 12 incline, walks for half an hour, and burns about 300 calories just to get a good sweat going. On the food side, he mentioned he's been fasting in the mornings because he heard it's great for your health, mostly just sipping on plant-grain shakes. But don't worry, he's definitely not missing out on the good stuff. He told this amazing story about hitting up a 40th floor restaurant with Jungkook to eat these incredible duck waffles drizzled with sauce.
Moving right along to Section 2, Tour Life and Aches.
You've got to hear this. J-Hope vented about this totally frustrating but kind of hilarious situation that tells you everything you need to know about the unseen hazards of touring. You'd think he'd get hurt doing some massive, high-flying concert stunt, right? Nope. He injured his toe right at the start of the tour just trying to film a TikTok challenge. Because of this rapidly deteriorating black nail, as he called it, he actually had to use completely different muscles during his performances to overcompensate, and that ended up making his entire body ache. It's just a fascinating peek at how one tiny, silly little injury can impact a massive arena show.
But even with the aches and pains, he's always thinking about the fans and how to keep the tour feeling fresh. Since the setlist naturally repeats night after night, he tries to make a ton of changes to his outfits and his hair to keep both himself and the audience excited. While reading off rapid-fire fan recommendations in the chat, he actually listed out these potential next hair colors, keeping his current silver gray, going back to black, trying out orange, or maybe even going cherry red.
But wait, the ticking clock returns. We are officially down to 17% battery, and you can practically feel the urgency jumping through the screen. He's reading comments faster, gearing up for his next tour stop in Germany, and desperately trying to cram in answers before everything goes dark.
In the middle of this absolute speedrun, a fan throws in a brilliant personality question. Are you the type to read the instruction manual first, or do you just dive in headfirst and figure it out as you go? And this really highlights his highly practical nature. J-Hope proudly confirmed that he is absolutely a manual reader. He wants to know exactly how things work before he starts, pointing out that you really have to read the manual so you don't go through all that trouble in vain. It's a small detail, sure, but it perfectly sums up his meticulous, organized approach to life and his art.
Okay, on to Section 3, Hobie's World Cup fever.
Like pretty much the rest of the planet at the time, the BTS guys were completely swept up in FIFA World Cup madness. J-Hope was obviously cheering hard for the South Korean players, but he interestingly noted that he was also really eager to watch the Norway team. But honestly, the best part of this was the backstage dynamic he talked about. He described Yoongi, Suga, glued to the game's backstage, just yelling out updates to the rest of the band. Literally right up until they had to step on stage, Yoongi was screaming, completely shocked that Egypt was actually beating Argentina 2-0. He was driving them all crazy with excitement right before they performed.
Next up, Section 4, Rapid Fire Fan Q&A. So someone in the chat asked a highly specific question about his shower routine. And J-Hope, completely true to that manual reading nature we just talked about, gave an equally specific step-by-step breakdown. Step 1, shampoo first. Step 2, apply conditioner. Step 3, body wash thoroughly. Now, Step 4 is where it gets incredibly precise. Pay attention to this. He holds his conditioner-covered hair away from his body and sprays the water directly on his knees to rinse it out. He does this specifically to avoid getting any conditioner runoff on his back. And finally, Step 5, wash his face and finish with a quick blast of cold water. It's exactly this level of meticulous daily habit that makes these recaps so much fun to explore.
And boom, 12%, we have hit the danger zone. The phone is actively warning him that it's going to die soon. He realizes he really needs to get off and go pack for Germany, but he promises the fans he will stay until he hits exactly 10%.
Which brings us to our final segment, Section 5, Happy Army Day. Right before he had to sign off, a fan managed to squeeze in one of the toughest questions you could possibly ask him. What is your favorite BTS song? J-Hope admitted it was a super tough choice because every single song holds these warm, complex emotions for him, but he gave a really beautiful answer. He chose Wings. He explained that the composition is just so different from their more recent tracks, and when he listens to it, he can genuinely feel the unique vibe of that specific era and all the daring, experimental things they were attempting as a group back then. Just a really wonderful moment of nostalgia right at the wire.
Finally, as that battery hit his strict 10% limit, and in celebration of Army Day, which is the anniversary of the fanbase's creation, he left the viewers with this simple, beautiful message. He thanked the fans for making the European tour so incredible, expressed his deep love for them, and promised to keep making music for as long as he physically has the strength to do it. With a quick peace sign and a flurry of goodbyes, he finally went to plug in his phone.
And honestly, it is pretty amazing how much life, humor, and pure connection you can cram into a single 22% battery charge, right? From epic duck waffles on the 40th floor to knee pain on the treadmill to literally protecting your back from hair conditioner, it was an absolute masterclass in staying grounded while living that superstar life. So I want to leave you with this question. What part of J-Hope's chaotic recap resonated the most with your own daily life? Let that sink in as you go about your day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we dive into more fascinating stuff.